Davy! I'm awesome! Welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from the past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. We're doing number 9 in this series, because there's just so many of these and they make me laugh. Weird laws, number 9. States seem to have weird laws, and we're going to get started with Louisiana. Because in the state of Louisiana, it is illegal to garlic in public. What's the matter with Louisiana? Why can't people just, clear their throat out? Seriously, why is that illegal? Gargling in public? Okay, it's a little rude. It's kind of something you should just do in your bathroom, after you brush your teeth and you're rinsing your mouth out. But why is this something illegal? Was there really somebody who was just like, why didn't Katrina take you out too soon? Seriously, though, of all the things that are legal in Louisiana, from what I hear in Louisiana, the alcohol laws are very, very different. Like, for example, here in Nevada, as a parent, I can give my kids alcohol. I won't, but I can, in our home with my supervision. Apparently in Louisiana, you can give your kids alcohol at a restaurant. Heck, I've even heard rumors that in Louisiana, it doesn't even have to be a parent, just an adult. Louisiana is the state that hosts Mardi Gras, which is basically a 3-day festival where they do things that are mostly illegal. And some of it where it's illegal, they look the other way on it. Some of it, it's only legal during Mardi Gras. Some of it, it's not illegal at all. But gargling in public, that's where you drew the line. Well, it's rude. Well, in my opinion, it's rude to block entire sections of streets, making it very difficult for people to get around, just because you want to earn beads. That's our culture. Yeah, well, gargling is kind of everybody's culture. And sometimes you can't even help it. Sometimes you gargle just because you had something coming down the wrong way. You're just like... Is that person going to still get fined, or can he fight that in court, that little gargle? Seriously, Louisiana, of all the things you're very loose on, gargling. Next one comes from the state of Georgia, where in the state of Georgia, it's illegal to live on a boat for 30 days. So I guess Leon Phelps can't live in his houseboat yet. But seriously, is that what you're saying? Houseboats are illegal? Or is it every 29 days they gotta sail that boat to international waters for a day? And what also makes me laugh about that a little bit is if you ever see a map and look at Georgia, there's not much land next to water. Very little of the state. Florida is almost completely surrounded. Most of them have long coastlines. It's got that tiny section that's even near water. Or are they including lakes in this too? Are there a lot of people trying to get away from rent by living in the lake, in the middle of the lake? Because last I checked, even having a houseboat, you have to pay rent. That's just weird to me. And was there such a problem that they needed to make a law against this? That they needed to be like, these freeloaders are getting in the way of my fishing? Was that happening? Was there such a problem? Because here's the thing, I grew up in Southern California. I lived not far from the ocean. Yes, often when we would go to the beach in California, there were sections of houseboats that pretty much just kept to themselves. It was basically like a trailer park, but boats. They didn't do much. Do people in houseboats litter a lot? Throwing crap in the ocean? Is that a problem? I get why you would fine them for that, but instead you're just going to be like, well, since you lack cleanliness and stability, you can only be here for 29 days. That doesn't seem to be something that would help, because then they could just move the boat, stay in a hotel for the night, and go right back to whatever they were doing that was wrong. Or even this, is it a residency thing? Because I know in some states, they don't really make it illegal, they just make it to where motels, hotels, whatever, the ones that will rent for weeks at a time have a limit on how long you can stay there, and usually it's 30 days because after 30 days you're establishing residency and it's harder for them to kick you out. But that's not really law. The law is just 30 days they establish residency. So I've known people who, yes, will live there for a while. They'll be told that you got to get out for at least a day, so they'll go stay a day at another hotel and then come back and go back to renting throughout the week. But that's not a law. The law is just the residency. It's the hotel saying, no establishing residency. Are they trying to keep people from establishing residency on the water? And why? Is there not enough of that water area? Or do crazy things happen? If we let them establish residence on the water, they'll start to think they're fish. Okay. So let them go into the water and drown. Because I think we're done with them now. I don't see why somebody can't live on their own boat for more than 30 days. Just because they're in Georgia. So apparently if you live in a houseboat on Georgia, go to Florida. The last one is from the state of Arkansas. Seems I'm picking on the southern states today, but I'm not. It's just weird. We're in the state of Arkansas. It is illegal to honk your horn next to a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. That is an oddly specific law. I can honk my horn wherever I want, as long as it's not next to a sandwich shop. What's the story? And what's the penalty? Is it a fine? Is there jail time involved? Because I imagine there's got to be jail time involved. Because I imagine whoever made this law was very petty. I imagine some lawmaker was in a Subway ordering his sandwich, and as he was ordering, he was like, okay, I want pickles and lettuce and tomato. You will rue this day! And why after 9 p.m.? Was this like a compromise, like as the lawgiver was making this a law because he was so irritated that somebody kept messing it up while he was trying to order his sandwich, that it went to court, and the guy who was honking his horn was like, it's not my fault Charlize wouldn't come out faster, but I should be allowed to honk my horn whenever I please. And somebody else was there complaining that their house is next to a sandwich shop and they were trying to sleep, so they all came to the compromise. Fine, but honk during the day. I just kind of feel like if you're going to make it illegal to honk your horn in certain areas, it should be all day. Or if you're going to make it to where it's illegal to honk your horn after a certain time, I could understand that. Because I think we've all been woken up by somebody honking a horn before. So fine, say between this time and this time, no honking your horn. But only next to a sandwich shop. So basically somebody in Arkansas keeps getting woken up after 9 o'clock to somebody honking their horn, mad because if only Subway hadn't moved and KFC moved in. But then again, I gotta ask, KFC sells sandwiches, so does that count? So there you have it, that's my story video this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post the videos. Leave a comment, I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me some other weird laws around the United States. But not the one about the donkey in the bathtub. I've covered that. Love you guys.